Hello, world. This is a peaceful and loving, sacred, safe space. I will that only positive growth and healing take place within this circle, held and supported by the winds of the north, the east, the south, and the west, the rivers and oceans, the sun, all the stars in the sky, and the Great Mother, our sacred earth. I pray that my life may be of service to the one heart for healing for me and all my relations, and that all beings everywhere may be happy and free. Thank you for all the guardian angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and light beings who are here with us, and I invite their loving support now in service to the highest and greatest good for all beings everywhere across all space and time. Good morning, friends. It's so beautiful to be here with you on another live video. It's beautiful to be here with you on another day here on Earth. Hi, Alicia. So this video is about doing your soul work and how that changes the world. I am excited to relax a little bit with you first. This is a tiny book by Thich Nhat Hanh, and I'm going to bring into our lives some mindfulness meditation. It's only going to take about 2 minutes because that's as long as it takes to feel better. And when we are doing our soul work, it's really important not to do too much too quickly. And in focusing on just doing the next good feeling thing is sometimes the most we have strength for. So I'm going to give you a really simple poem, and I'm going to create a little meditative space around that. And I hope the chirps of my kitten Pluto don't disturb you. I think he'll probably visit us later. So to open this sacred space, I'm going to light sage. And if you don't have any sage, don't worry, because this smoke can reach you through the ethers. It's purifying, cleansing, rejuvenating. I invite you all to receive the sacred smoke. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Leave a comment where you're located so we can feel how this web is being presenced around the planet. Our intention here is for love and safety and harmony, and to manifest these qualities with increasing presence here on Earth, grounding for all humans everywhere across all space and time, on behalf of all our ancestors and all of the generations to follow us as well. So you can create a safe and sacred space for yourself as well. I like to do it with burning incense and sage. You can light a candle. You can spray something that smells good. That's a really great way to change your brain chemistry. I'm still working with vetiver, which is a really grounding scent and essential oil. And I also have some crystals. Got amethyst and obsidian. Obsidian is a really powerful stone for dealing with pain of any variety, whether it's physical, emotional, and you can actually put it right on your body where the pain is happening. And it also works great as a worry stone. You just hold it and feel the struggles releasing. Lovely, Aurora, to feel your presence all the way from England. Thank you. We're going to have a couple meditative moments, and to participate, all you need is your heart and your lungs. And you can just receive the invitation of this bell and feel the vibrations, calming and synchronizing your being. Thank you for this opportunity to practice being present and practicing being alignment with our source. Thank you to the Creator for organizing this moment, for all the distractions that come into my presence. Thank you for these blessed opportunities to demonstrate my commitment to being in total and perfect alignment with my highest self. Good morning, Nikki, sweet bird. Oh, what a blessing. So today we're celebrating community by being mindful together, and I'm going to read from Thich Nhat Hanh's book, How to Relax, a short practice. Here's a poem to practice anytime, but especially when you're angry, worried, or sad. If you know how to practice this poem, you'll feel much better after just 1 or 2 minutes. In, out, deep, slow, calm, ease, smile, release. Present moment, wonderful moment. In, out means that when I breathe in, I know I'm breathing in. And when I breathe out, I know I'm breathing out. You are 100% with your in-breath and your out-breath. Don't think of anything else. That's the secret of success. After you've practiced in, out 3, 4, or 5 times, you'll notice that your in-breath naturally becomes deeper and your out-breath becomes slower. Your breath is calm and you're more peaceful. That is deep slow. Calm, ease means breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I feel at ease. This exercise is wonderful to practice, especially when you're nervous or angry, or you don't feel peaceful in yourself. Then you come to smile, release. Breathing in, I smile. You may feel it's too difficult to smile, but after practicing 3 or 4 times, you may feel that you're able to smile. If you can smile, you'll feel a lot better. You may protest. Why do you want me to smile? It's not natural. Many people ask me that, and they protest. I have no joy in me. I can't force myself to smile. It wouldn't be true. I always say that a smile can be a kind of yoga practice, yoga for your mouth. You just smile, even if you don't feel joy. And after you smile, you can see if you feel differently. Sometimes the mind takes the initiative, and sometimes you have to allow the body to take the initiative. So now I'm enjoying my body being in an upright position, feeling the spine elongated. You can imagine there's a crown sitting on top of your head. That often makes your head feel a little bit taller. And you can also feel like a string is being pulled from the top of your head. So if you can enjoy the way that your body is feeling right this moment, and you want to close your eyes for a minute or 2 to participate in this meditation with me and other beautiful souls that have gathered here this morning and will gather later on, for anybody watching the replay of this video, the etheric imprint of the energy of mindfulness will still be palpable and transmitted through this broadcast after this morning. So if you want to participate right now, that is extra powerful. And what I'm going to do is just invite the bell and read this poem in a meditative way. Hi, Farrell. We're doing a meditation. So this practice of mindfulness, this one changed my life. That's why I'm sharing it with you. There's also a song. You can sing these words. I often sing it to myself when I'm working. Yeah, just in time, Robin. So this is just going to be a little 2-minute meditation, and I hope you enjoy it. And I also hope that my cat doesn't meow and disturb us. So let's see what happens. All right. So with every invitation of the bell, just allow yourself to breathe in and out and see what happens. And just be very, very observant and curious, and don't the only rule, is not to control anything. The only rule is just to observe what's happening with your breath. And you can also practice compassion for thoughts that come up. You can practice acceptance for worries and anxieties that come up. You can practice holding any fears. And you can just, okay, or I'll sing after. You can just drop any worries in the comment box. We're here to support you. I know it would make me feel really joyful to offer some support if that's helpful where you are on your path. And I'm sure there are other people in the community that would also feel that way. So without further ado, welcome to the meditation. On the in-breath, repeat to yourself, in. And on the out-breath, repeat to yourself, out. In, out. In, out. Deep, slow. Deep, slow. Deep, slow. Calm, ease. Calm, ease. Calm, ease. Smile, release. Smile, release. Smile, release. Present moment, wonderful moment. Present moment, wonderful moment. Present moment, wonderful moment. In, out, deep, slow. Calm, ease, smile, release. present moment, wonderful moment. In, out, deep, slow, calm, ease, smile, release. Present moment, wonderful moment. I hope you enjoyed this short practice. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for your presence. I hope you share with me what that was like for you. The 6 of us that were here together, I hope you'll drop a little message about how you're feeling now, if there was any movement in your feelings, change in your state of being. So we're all on our own personal journeys. Glad you liked it. Beautiful. People are saying, Aurora feels beautiful. Robin feels light, like she received a gift. Alicia feels centered. These are all so powerful. Continuing into your day with the love and peace in your heart that can be generated from a couple minutes of practicing this makes us more effective at creating the change in the world that we want to see. Nikki feels calm. That's great. We go out into the world and we interact with people all day and share with them the the gifts that we have. And if we take a short time in the morning to come into alignment with the gifts that we have, whether it's just waking up and putting your hand on your heart, or sitting in front of a special place in your home with someone, maybe it's a cat, maybe it's a lover, but those moments of clarity can take us through really difficult things. And I'm personally on a path to making the world a place that likes itself better. And if not likes itself, loves itself. And I know that starts with myself. So when I do things like this, I offer it as a gift to myself, as a demonstration of my love for myself. My commitment to the divine also comes through when I'm practicing meditation like this. I know that I am doing my absolute best to walk this path of grace and presence and gratitude for the life that I've been given. And I saw a film called Happy. It's a documentary about happiness. I highly recommend it to everyone. And there's a man in there who works at an orphanage, and he says, I feel like this life is a gift from God, and I'm going to pay it back with interest. And I just found that to be the most empowered mission that a human being can have, to say, look, I received this, and I get to decide what to do with it. This life is something I choose to use. And I think that is a form that helps me to take my power back when I heard him say that. And there's this practice of being in tune with who we are and finding the truth of that message. And sometimes we receive inspired moments throughout our day when we're in movement and we think, oh, wow, this is who I really am. This is what I really want to keep doing. And then those are moments of grace, right? We feel extreme, like we might pause, we might take a moment to just be in awe and wonder of what's happening to us in the world, but we also receive those with incredible reliability in this place of stillness and presence. And that's something that I really love and appreciate about being a human, that we can just quiet our minds and see what comes. And usually it's a message to help us get into alignment with who we are. Even if it's a worry, even if it's a fear, those are still part of who we are, and they refer back to some kind of value that's true and important for us. And I've learned a lot from anxiety and depression and fear about who I really am. Even though I am not those emotions, they have still guided me to the total true alignment with who I am, that I am seeking, that I am dancing with and celebrating and coming more into intimate relationship with. So you don't just show up one day totally yourself. We're constantly practicing being in alignment with that self, and then going out in the world and offering that until it's time to come back in to our quiet space and feel who we are again and practice. I'm just checking my notes because I had some inspired thoughts come through last night about the fall of humanity. So I've been reading this really wonderful book called The Seven Sacred Flames, and I highly recommend it to everyone. I'm going to write it in the chat box. And there's some really interesting information in there that's been channeled from Ascended Masters. And Ascended Masters are spirits or souls that have come to Earth and been humans for many lifetimes and learned as much as they need to just really completely come into alignment with their true selves, and that could be called ascension. So there's no separation between them and their highest self. And we all have the ability to access this type of living. We all have the ability to come into perfect alignment with our highest self and achieve ascension in this lifetime, actually. It's not like something that could happen 10,000 years from now. That's something that could happen in this lifetime for all of us. That's totally accessible. And I feel really passionate about inspiring people to believe that and to have faith in that, because it brought me a ton of space in my life when I realized that I could do this, that I could really just live my purpose, and my passion could lead me to my most aligned best self. That is available to all of us. And all that's required is waking up and doing the soul work. Good morning, Lindsay. Nice to see you here. So waking up and doing the soul work is about recovering from doubt, recovering from self-doubt, recovering from any doubt that we have that our needs are always met. The universe is always lining up to provide us with exactly the right experience, exactly the right time. These can be kind of triggering things to hear. Sometimes it can be really triggering to hear everything happens for a reason, or there's always a silver lining, or what else? Type something else in the comment box like that. There's so many expressions like that, because we feel betrayed and abandoned and let down a lot of times by life. And I'll be the first person to admit that I know what it's like to just hate life and feel really let down by life as a being, by the universe in general, by God. Ciao, Aurora. So nice to see you. Thanks for sharing your breath with the world. So, yeah, all of that is real, and we experience self-doubt, and we have doubt in God and in angels and spirits and our ancestors, and all of us experience this kind of self-doubt. And that's why we have a world that's so soulless. That's why in this world, when you walk through a city, the person who is ensouled, who walks down the road, just exploding with soul, or the person with subtlety and artistic the poetry in the way they move, or the colorful expression of their heart and their soul on them, it jumps out at you, because we've built a really soulless world. And this soulless world is a result of this original fall, where if you picture the Big Bang, there was nothing and then there was something. And the moment when things went from nothing to something, there was separation, because the essence of matter is separation between atoms, and density is the opposite of light. And when there was nothing, everything was just light, and it was just one universal consciousness. And that universal consciousness still exists, and we are still a part of it. That is the great paradox of being part of life, capital L, life. But the essence of the human is divine, and we have been given total free will as creators. We are co-creators with the divine, and because of that free will, we were able to choose separation from the divine. And so over time, as humans started to worry, well, what if my needs aren't always met? What if I need something and that's not there? God never lets that happen for us, but we actually are required to have faith and trust in that in order to have that experience. And that's just the magic of faith and the divine. So we've created separation through our doubt, and we just have to prove to ourselves once more that our needs are always met, that we will always be supported. And that looks like calling back the pieces of ourself that have been disintegrated. So when we give away pieces of ourselves, that's when we give away our power. And that happens when we say yes, when we really meant to say no. For example, if somebody says, can you stay late after work? And you're like, actually, I'm really tired and my body wants to lie down, but you say yes. A part of you that really needs to lie down has been disowned. And that part of you becomes a fragment that isn't integrated with the rest of your being. And that's just an example of what causes fragmentation. But the work, the soul work that I'm talking about, is calling back those pieces that have been fragmented. And when we call back these pieces of the self, that's soul retrieval. And there's a lot of practices for this in shamanism, in different shamanistic traditions. And that is a little more detailed than I'm going to go today. But this is taking back our power. And it might look like when someone asks you, can you keep working? You say, no, I need to lie down. That is taking back your power. That is recognizing that you have a voice, and you can use that voice for your true soul purpose, for alignment with your higher self. And the more times we do that, the more times we take back our power, we create congruency. And that's actually a way of healing itself. Just having congruence, having some kind of repetitive experience of safety which is what we feel when we speak our truth. That's safety. That heals trauma, and we take our power. Taking back our power heals trauma. And we've all experienced trauma. Being birthed is a traumatic process, and we don't remember it, so we often discount it as a source of stress or strain or dis-ease. But most of us have not had a birth experience that was untraumatic. And this relates to what I was saying about the initial fall, the creation of form as a birth. So think about what it's like to be a fetus. Think about what it's like. You can connect with your belly button. Just, you can touch it, or touch it with your consciousness, with your awareness. And think about how there used to be a tube that connected you from that point to your mother. And you were never separate from your mother for 9 months. Every single day, every single moment, you were the same as your mother. And you had never known separation before you were with her. You had only known from the moment your consciousness came to earth, you were one with your mother. So for 9 months, your primary experience was me and mom. We are one. There wasn't even a me. There was just one. And you were just breathing and eating and surviving and moving with your mother. Okay, and then you were born. Then it was time to come into the world, and you were forced through the birth canal, which itself is what's going on. I know this is happening, but ow. Certainly there is physical pain in the experience if you were pulled like I was from the womb with forceps. I wouldn't let anyone pull me by my head anywhere now. So all this to say, there's trauma in separation, and doing our soul work is about healing that trauma, healing the trauma of separation, and understanding that there is physical separation, but there is also etheric union, energetic union and connection. And so something that I've found a lot of joy and healing in is exploring what I'm connected to and how I'm connected to the world. This has been my recovery journey, exploring how I am connected and not how I'm separate. So for a long time, maybe the first 28 years of my life, I was just exploring how I was separate, how I was different, how I didn't belong. And that created, thank you for the hearts, that created an experience of separation and suffering and trauma. And because that's not the true nature of this world. The true nature of this world is connection. And I mean, if you look at your hand, it looks like solid. It makes a sound when I hit it. It's hard, it's form, but it's a 99% empty space. How beautiful is that? That will never stop delighting me. That this body looks like solid, but it's actually just space. So there's very little separation in a real sense between me, the sofa, the air around me, and you ultimately, which I love. And it does require some faith at the beginning. When I was first practicing yoga 9 years ago, I remember being in so much physical pain. I didn't care what happened. I didn't have any strength left to say, like, no, I don't like that, or I don't want that. I just needed help. I needed relief from pain. I was 20 years old and I could not walk up a flight of stairs. And the doctors gave me Vicodin. That was their solution. So at 20 years old, I was supposed to be on opioids for the rest of my life in order to access mobility, in order to experience the world. And I knew that was bullshit. Luckily, I knew that was bullshit. That is my blessing. And I was also blessed with the gift of yoga. That was an incredible blessing from a magical earth angel. And that was where I learned to return to my divinity. So in yoga, they talk about the chakras system, which is actually just the energetic system of the human physical form. So they call it the chakra system because there's 7 energy centers, like hubs for the electric force that moves through your body. And these energy centers each have a personality. They have a different quality to them that you can explore in yourself, which is so beautiful. One that's really easy to explore is your heart. So that energy center is like here, and you can explore it by touching the color green in the element earth. I'm sorry, air. This is air. And I'm not going to go into the chakras, but the way to really access this experience of divinity, which is internal, is to empty your mind and to be quiet and still and see what comes, to see what arises in that stillness, in that quietness. And it might not be easy. It certainly wasn't for me when I started, just getting quiet and still and seeing what arises. It was very, things would arise very quickly and they would carry me away from the stillness, but I would come back to it. And it's that coming back, which is actually the practice, like getting still and quiet. Put a lot of focus on that. That's not actually the practice of mindfulness. That requires the most work. It takes the most work to come back to stillness. People talk a lot about noticing your breath. Well, actually, the more important practice is remembering to breathe and then being compassionate with yourself about having stopped remembering to breathe. That's the beauty that I find in the practice, being the strongest. So I'm going to end it here, talking about, this practice of emptying your mind for getting in alignment, and how important it is to just be quiet, and how it doesn't have to be boring or hard or annoying or some kind of work. It can be really beautiful. And you can do it anytime. You can do it on the bus. You can do it at your desk. You could do it on the toilet. Those are all moments for mindfulness. And I would recommend choosing a moment that feels really fruitful and exciting to practice mindfulness, and then just expanding that moment and practice getting in alignment with yourself on the toilet. So there's actually a little poem that you can think of when you're doing your business. Immaculate or defiled, increasing or decreasing. These concepts exist only in the mind. The reality of interbeing is unsurpassed. So what that means is that immaculate or defiled, clean or dirty, they're the same. They're just part of the same spectrum. And we create the separation between clean and dirty. If you look at those concepts and try and find the line where they are actually separate, where there's like a clean distinction or like a clean distinction between immaculate or defiled, good luck, because you can't. Increasing or decreasing. When is something definitely increasing? When is it definitely decreasing? There's no separation. They inter-are. Those concepts inter-are. So that is an experience of mindfulness. When you contemplate how immaculate or defiled, increasing or decreasing, these concepts exist only in the mind, just up here, there's a stillness that happens. Your mind's like, well, I've been beat. You caught me. I can't really say anything to that for a minute. And so in that stillness, what comes up, that's the soul work. That's how we get in alignment. That's how we change the world, because in that stillness is when our soul can speak. And then when the soul speaks, we listen, because that's the part of us that's untainted by all of these ideas of separation. And I think that's the end of our video today. Namaste, beautiful beings. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll share your experiences. This has been really fun. Have a blessed week.